Welcome back to STL Live. I'm Sarah Thompson, and here with me is music artist C Sharp. And we're not talking about music, we're talking about voting and politics. And this is really quite interesting. You know, we left off in the first segment where you were talking about, you know, we've had in St. Louis, obviously since Ferguson, a lot of protest, but that it doesn't just really end there. It has to transition and has to be transformed into the power of voting. Talk a little bit more about that. I mean, what's the power in walking into, you know, checking that ballot?
I mean, it's the same power as 10,000 people shutting down the street, chanting the same thing, you know? It's the same power. It's one of those things to where we have to find a way to organize just like that, you know, behind something like this. For instance, in 2015, we had a mayoral primary, or an automatic primary, that's what it was. And we have 300,000 people that live in this city. 180,000 people are registered to vote. That's enough, you know what I'm saying, to make a change. But when only 15,000 actually come out and participate in the process, that leaves you with a result of 9.1%. And that's not private, you know, classified information. That's public information. So it's not a black thing, it's not a young thing, it's not a white thing, it's not an old thing or a rich or poor. It's a fact of, okay, if you want people to start understanding your needs and your wants, you have got to make your voice heard. Because if you got 10% of the city speaking for you, nobody's really listening to that except.
And that kind of gets back to what we were talking about in the first segment is, I get it, you know, but why aren't people getting it? Is it, why? Where does, when you're out there in the community and you're talking to people, especially with young, and you said it's not even necessarily young people. I mean, I get it when people might say, I work 16-hour days and I can't get out to vote. But I mean, when you are just so disengaged from the community, what is it? What is it going to take? Like, you know, because it is frustrating, because it is such a small number who are speaking, who are doing the action, and we all are living together, though.
I mean, it's going to take a special group of people, a special group of matriarchs, you know what I'm saying, from that community to get out there and express the importance of, you know, some type of civic responsibility. I mean, like I said, I'm doing my part, you know, of, trying to create an idea, create a philosophy, be a beacon of positivity, you know, if you will, and get around and spread these type of messages around town. But, you know, if people aren't willing to adopt and willing to implement, you know, the process themselves, then, I mean, it's almost kind of like talking to a brick wall.
Sure.
So I'm not trying to persuade anybody to do anything. I'm just trying to let you know that if you're looking for something to do and you're looking for something to do that'll make a change, let's try this approach right here.
Well, let's talk a bit about your background, because you are, we've introduced you as a music artist, a musician, artist. You're kind of cover both areas. How did you get to where you are right now, to being here on set, to talking about voting? Not that you just only have to focus in the arts, but tell us about your background and then how you got to being involved in Youturn 16.
Well, big shout out to my man Lewis Reed. You know, really appreciate him and the exposure that, you know, he's given me to city politics and city government. I helped him. I was a part of his mayoral campaign in 2013. I took it upon myself to try to be the one that brought that 18 to 24-year-old vote out, bring him to the forefront and to the platform of a lot of their needs, and try to get that vote, you know, swayed towards him. Use hip hop to help influence it. You know, I created a song and commercials, you know, so on and so forth. And, you know, we ended up on the short end of the decision by only 4,000 votes, which let me know that people just didn't know what was going on that day. You know, if we only lost by 4,000. And I think the total that came out and participated was only 22%. So we didn't even have a quarter of the city participate. So moving on in politics and learning as much as I possibly could, meeting judges and senators and state reps, and you know.
You got a taste for it. I have a feeling I might be seeing your name on the ballot. I don't know if it'll say C Sharp, but I have a feeling down the road. I mean, is this kind of where you're headed, you think?
I don't know. You know, and I say, as long as I'm on the journey, then, you know, amen. You know,
okay, well, that's a good way to close. That's a good way to close. We've got the information. If you want to learn more about this Youturn 16, there it is. It's hashtag Youturn 16, or you can go to C Sharp's Facebook page. That's facebook.com/C Sharp 314. And really, like I said, very refreshing, very nice to meet someone young who is engaged and trying to do the best thing for the community, and especially with getting people out to vote. So thank you for being here. You're welcome. All right. Well, there's more STL Live right after this. Please stay with us.